Good morning. My name is Bob Isenberger. I'm the Director of Programs for a nonprofit organization known as Ecologos, based in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. We are all about water, but we show up mostly to the world as a documentary film festival, which encourages people to learn more about the hazards facing water around the world and what can be done about that and how we can participate. I got involved with Ecologos because I looked at their website and realized that their values that they espouse and work towards align very much with my own personal values. And so it seemed like an organization that I could contribute something to and enjoy doing at the same time. How did I get started with Ecologos? I went back to graduate school a number of years ago, probably 12 years ago now, and in the course of that study, I was introduced to the organization by receiving an invitation to an event that they were hosting. And I was quite struck by the individuals involved and their supporters and the work that they were doing. I started with the organization by volunteering. It's a volunteer-based organization, and much of what happens is because of the volunteer efforts that are afforded by people who support them. And so we spent a number of years planning the direction of the organization, planning specific events and programs, and doing all that we could to promote those. It has remained largely the same, with the exception that several years ago I was offered the opportunity to work for the organization in a paid format on a part-time basis and continue in that role. The specific duties change from year to year, from season to season, depending on what is happening in the world of water, depending on the programs that we initiate and want to promote. And I now have some degree of responsibility of leadership for the organization, helping our executive director. What I do today is help support all of the programs that we offer, which are basically three. We offer a documentary film festival, as I mentioned, which happens once a year, but as you can imagine, takes a fair amount of planning to put on. And I also assist somewhat with a program that we call Water Docs Where You Live, which is an initiative to take film screenings out into the community and have conversations in local neighborhood venues, libraries and churches and community centers. And we host a conversation following the film to help people dig deeper into the issues and understand them better and explore ways that we can each make a difference. And primarily, though, I am the program manager for a program called Water Docs at School Action Projects, which is aimed at grade 8 because there's a big unit on water at grade 8, and we like to support that and have them then do an action project in their community and film that project. So it's a great opportunity for the kids to begin exercising their own voice. I've been asked, if I were the Prime Minister of Canada, what would I do in connection with the environment and water? And there actually could be quite a list of things, but there are several that I will highlight for you right now. One of those is that a previous government, which was a much more conservative government of Canada, either disbanded or greatly weakened 3 different water protection pieces of legislation. One is called the Fisheries Act, one is the Canadian Environmental Assessment Act, and another called the Navigable Waters Act. So I would immediately restore the protections that those statutes had put in place for water and the environment in general in Canada. In addition, I'd like to see the country begin implementing plastic garbage or plastic waste bans. We are hearing more and more in the news about the terrible effects of discarded plastic in all of the environmental situations as well as the oceans themselves. And we all need to move towards resolving those issues. And the third is seen by some as radical, but more and more people are seeing it as very logical and very supportable. And that is the idea of endowing water, in this particular case, with the status of personhood, so that, as we've seen happen in Bolivia a couple of years ago, they passed what they call the Law of Mother Earth, which gives all of nature equal rights to human beings. And this allows stature in the courts. It allows you to incorporate considerations in planning, etc. And I think this would be really important to solving our problems long term. The other question that I've been asked is what I might say to high school students these days. And the short answer to that question is to get involved and start using your voice. One of the things we see in our school program, which involves grade 8 students, which are about 13 years old usually, is that even young people, and especially young people, in my opinion, can have a very powerful and effective voice in policy making, in the public perception of issues, etc. And so I would invite each of the high school students who might be hearing this to get involved, to start paying attention to what's going on with the environment, and especially locally, where you are, start talking to people, become knowledgeable about the issues, and find ways to express that and let it be known, whether it's writing a letter to the editor, creating a documentary film, as many of our students, as all of our students do in our program. And you will find that you can have a very effective voice moving forward. And I believe it's the young people who are going to help straighten things out and fix the problems that have been accumulating over the past decades. I hope this is helpful. Thank you very much, and good luck with your studies.